So how many times have you got back from a shoot and looked at your photos and thought there's something not quite right with them, something just looks a little bit off? Well, the chances are, if you're a beginner, it could be your composition. So in today's video, I just want to go through a couple of compositional techniques and things that you can try the next time you're out shooting. So one of the first things you should look at doing is stop shooting vertically for social media if that's something that you are doing, and start shooting more of your images in landscape. I was doing this for years and years, only ever shot everything vertically, and in essence all it does is restrict the creativity of what's going on in a photo. By shooting more things in landscape, you get to tell a better story, you get to show more of the environment and capture a lot more of what's actually going on around. So don't restrict yourself just by shooting in vertical. It's hindering your photography, it's slowing you down. It's not slowing you down, but it is restricting you to a point where you don't really need to be restricted like that. The world is a big place, there's a lot of stuff going on around us, so capture it as best you can and use some of these other techniques along with your landscape shooting. So I don't think we can do a composition video without talking about the rule of thirds. It's pretty straightforward and it's one that we should all know and be using, especially if we're shooting in landscape. So what this is a set of grids that sit over the top of your photos, and essentially your aim is to place your subject on one of the corners or one of the areas on that grid. What this will do is create space in your image, but also draw your viewer's eye to the subject that is placed on one of those grids. Obviously, by shooting that in landscape, you are giving a lot more breathing room to your photo, you are creating a lot more space, you can tell a better story with it, you can guide your viewer's eye directly to where it needs to be, and naturally what tends to happen with the rule of thirds is the viewer's eye is going to go there anyway. You can obviously do this in vertical, but one of the things that you're going to find is that you're going to have a bit of difficulty placing maybe a larger subject and not have a lot of room on the outside, so it just looks a bit too tight, which is probably what's making your photos, or possibly making photos, look a little bit off, trying to fit too much in a small space when you could be showing a lot more. So yes, definitely look at using the rule of thirds in your photos as you try to get better at your composition. Framing our subject is something we should use to our advantage when we can, when the opportunity arises for it. One of the things with framing is it isolates our subject and gets rid of all distractions around of whatever that subject may be. You can use frames in many different ways, shooting through windows, shooting through doors, finding objects in the natural environment. You can even use people to frame up another person, depending on how many people are around and if you can capture a decent frame that way. The benefits of it, obviously, it's clearly telling your viewer what the subject is without having all of the mess, clutter, or whatever it is that might be making your photo look a bit messed up. I tend to try and find natural frames around me when I'm out shooting, and obviously that's something that I'd advise you to try and do. You might come across times where there aren't any natural frames, so maybe you can try and use something that you've got on you, maybe holding your phone up to something, holding your hand out to cover the lens, finding a couple of leaves, getting a bush, getting some branches off of a tree. Use whatever you can just to do what you need to do to make an image. Definitely one to consider. Just a quick one from today's video sponsor, that being me, and it is to let you know that I have released an ebook to go alongside this video. The book is all around composition. It may help a few of you beginners that might be watching this and want to get a bit more knowledge or information around it. You can pick it up in the link in the description. As I said, it's completely free. You don't have to, but it's there if you want it. So back to the video. Similar to framing, we can also use depth, and that is purely by putting something in front of our lens in the foreground, having our subject in the midground, and having a clear defined background. By having depth in your photos, you're building layers within it, which is also building interest and helping the viewer be able to go from the front of your image straight through to the back. But obviously the thing that's in the midground, that is in focus and what you're wanting the viewer to see, is going to be the main interest of that photo anyway. Obviously out in the street it might not always be easy to get photos that's got a lot of depth in there, but I'm pretty sure if you start looking around, slowing down, observing a bit more of what's around you, you can find a bit of depth within there. Similar again with the framing, use people to create depth, use the environment to create depth. It's one of the main things I would say that levels up your photo from looking completely flat to making it look like a bit more interesting in general. Hopefully that was in focus. And finally, we come to symmetry. I think we all know what symmetry is, but in terms of photography, we know that it's going to be when one side of the image matches the other side, which gives nice balance across the whole image, usually having some form of subject in the middle. Us as people, I think we are generally all drawn to symmetrical things. It's just pleasing for us to look at. Obviously, we don't want to overuse it and use it all of the time, because then it can become a bit too repetitive and you will just get known for another symmetrical shot. So try and mix it up with some of the other compositional things that are out there. But if you see something that's nice and symmetrical, try using it. Maybe you can blend in some of the other techniques in there, say like foreground or shooting through something like framing it up, and that can all build upon making a better image. Here's a little trick for something that you can try if you want to see if your photo is going to be balanced, and that's just squinting your eyes a little bit so everything looks slightly blurry, and see how things way off. If some elements are too dark, if some elements are too light, and one's overpowering the other, then you haven't likely got balance in your photo. And then just recompose yourself, get yourself into a better position to see if you can balance that off. But symmetry, yeah, definitely give it a go. Find it out in the field. There's plenty of places that you will come across naturally, and yeah, just grab a snap of it. You don't necessarily always need a subject in there. Just capturing architecture in a symmetrical way can be a nice photo. So that was just some quick information on some things that you can try to help improve your composition. Hopefully you found it useful, and it's stuff that you can try if you haven't been doing it. I'm going to be linking something in the description to go along with this. If it's not there now, then it will be in the next week or two, and hopefully that will help you a bit further. If you like this video, let me know in the comments, maybe give it a like. But other than that, not too much more to say on this one. So I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.